What's up guys, Engineering Aquariums coming at you with this video. We're using oil-based Rust-Oleum paint to paint the back of this new frag tank we are building. It is being painted in my bathroom because there's a fan in here and it's much warmer than it is outside. I did try using latex paint originally, but as soon as I peeled up the tape around the edges to protect the trim and make sure I didn't overshoot, the entirety of the latex paint came up in one solid sheet of latex. So we're redoing it now. We've got some glass cutting going on here. You can see the reflection of the glass a little bit. I'm using a highlighter, which is pretty hard to see, but it's better than nothing. And if you just glare off the light just enough, it is able to be seen, as well as a standard glass cutter. I'll show you guys a video of that in a second. Just wanted to make sure I got it done right, and so far I have, cutting out this big piece. So the plan overall is to use the big glass piece that we currently have to cut out these sections that we're going to make the all-in-one tank out of. These are the 2x4s we're going to be making the stand out of. And this is my stocking list of fish, so if you've got any ideas on that, leave a comment below. The stand itself is being built just like this, where we got an Apex Trident space. It's gonna be a 5-foot wide stand, 2 feet deep, so it fits the tank plus an extra foot for 2 Apex Tridents. I know that might be overkill. One's for this tank and one's for my cube that's currently set up. I figured out how I'm cutting my plywood out, so I only need very minimum pieces. And I figured out what 2x4s I needed just generally, as well as a 2x6 and a few brackets and extra stuff. If we look at the plan overall, this is the tank itself. It's going to be 19 inches by 4 feet of frags, a little section in the back for sand for those wrasses, as well as an all-in-one section in the back because I really don't want to deal with plumbing or a sump. Quite simply, I don't mind the stuff in the back of the tank. I just don't want to go into the cost of getting nice valves, doing all the plumbing, lining it up, all that extra stuff. So we're just gonna make an all-in-one. I'm pretty good with glass and silicone, as you may have seen on my previous stuff. And yeah, we're watching the football game in the background, but. So this is the plan. I'm also 3D printing some parts. Oops, it's my shadow. Let's turn this. So we're gonna be 3D printing a refugium light shield, some stuff to make sure that the fuge doesn't glow into the tank or outside. That'll actually just silicone onto the glass pieces, as well as the actual sock holder. It's going to be in this corner. You can barely see where the socks are because I suck at drawing circles. But in a 5x5, I'm able to get two 2 3/4 inch socks, which are the size of socks that the Waterbox 20 uses. So I only need those socks. I can just wash them and reuse them. I am putting a protein skimmer in. That's a new thing I came up with in the last few days. And that's just because of the larger stocking list. I'm also putting a top on it, made out of mesh. It's just BRS's 4-foot rimmed tank top, and it will cut off so that the back stuff and protein skimmer does not have a top over it. It comes with enough corners to do that, and it'll keep all my fish safe, especially the wrasses who like to jump. If you got any ideas, put them down below. If you like the video, like it. If you want to follow this build process more, subscribe. And I will insert a little clip of me scoring and a smaller clip of me breaking the glass in this kind of weird setup. There's a few ways to break glass. I've done it over tables. I've done it off the edge of like cinder blocks. But what I found works really well is you score it. You put this little piece up here right on the seam, and then you just tap on the other side. You move this down and re-support it. And so there'll be a video of that right here. So when I score, I first draw down this highlighter line. You can barely make out in the light. Right as the light touches it, oops, right there. There's like a small line that goes all the way up. It's a little easier to see with the eyes. There you go. See how it goes all the way up. So first I make that. Then I place my scoring device on the line itself, and then I move my ruler so that it touches the edge of it, because there's this thickness here where the edge of this and where the center blade is actually much different. So it ends up being, I don't know, 1/8 to 1/16 of an inch off. And then you're gonna wanna make sure it's the same at the top, which it is. And we push hard, push really hard, down, and that noise is normal. So that's the first part of a score. So it's much easier to see now. Push very hard, that noise is totally normal. With super thin stuff, if you go over it maybe 1 or 2 times, you can even get it to break through, but otherwise, here's the video of it breaking. Okay guys, so I talked previously about how you can take this, put it directly up underneath the brake, knock it off, or push down on this side of the brake you want to break off. You can also put it off the edge of the table and just tap it. That's technically what it's made for. However, I scored incorrectly. Apparently the carpet I was on was a little too soft. I do like scoring on carpet because if there's any defects in it, the softness of it helps. But we're back on the table. So what we're gonna do here is break off like normal. So we got our nice scored piece. You can see the line halfway through there. We're going to put it on the edge of the table. Gloves is definitely a good option if you have them, like work gloves. Otherwise, you can old school it. Just pull your sleeves all the way down. And bop. So I gave it a few test pushes just to see how much force it wanted. I knew my score was deep enough this time because I spent a lot of time just pushing really hard on that thing. I probably cut, and if you look really closely, you can see almost how close I cut, if that'll focus. So I cut pretty deep with the scoring tool. You just push down, break it off, you got yourself a piece. This is actually a scrap piece that I needed to break off because, again, I failed to score and it broke really awkwardly. So the rest of this piece will be used, but I needed to get this guy off first. It's much easier to do smaller increments, as most rulers are only 1 foot long. If you have a longer one and you're comfortable using it, go for it. But I just like to do small increments, and then when it gets to the large pieces, I almost measure from the other side. So that's all. Peace.